Hello YouTube, I'm here from Blue Noodle Studios and today I'm going to be giving you a welcome to Photoshop tutorial. So I'm just going to go ahead and start Photoshop opening because it takes a while to open and it will come up with this loading screen which will take a while to load because it is a fairly big advanced program just while I introduce this series. So in this series I'm just going to be showing you all about Photoshop. So I'll start off with the real basics, just how to create documents and going through layers and all of the terminology and what everything means. Then I'll get into super advanced stuff like 3D and really complicated different designs and techniques that you can use to really enhance your graphic design skills. So starting off, if we open up Photoshop, you saw the loading screen and then it will come up like this. So we've got all these different panels. We've got layers, adjustments, color, and we've got tools. This is in the Essentials workspace. I'll go more into workspaces later, but basically workspace, if you have a workspace, it's basically the arrangement of panels. So we've got tools over here, we've got adjustments, layers, and these different other menus which we can click into. So for instance, if we had it on painting, just once this loads, it's a very different workspace. You've got your brushes and you've got more colors. Again, if we have it on something like 3D, then we're going to have 3D options in the main page. So I'll just come back to Essentials. I recommend that this is the best workspace for starting off, but you can even create custom workspaces. So again, I'll be doing a whole video on workspaces, which will really make you an expert on it. So, but to keep on the basics, what you want to do, of course, first is create a new document. So like in many applications, you just go File, New, or you can press Command N or Control N on a PC. Then if we click on this, then it will open this dialog box. So this is where you create your document, and it's mainly for selecting the size and the different color properties and things of your document. So I'm going to go more into color properties later because it's quite advanced. If we come in here, you can see that it's really it's not essential when you're starting off. So we don't really need to worry about this advanced. We can even close it off if we want. And so what you really want to focus on is first you want to create your name. So I'm just going to be calling it Basic Document. And then you've got your presets. So if we come in here, you can see all of these different presets, and within them you have different options. So if we come into international paper, if we're in Australia or something, if we want A4, A5, then we can see all of these different options within the international paper preset. If we're in America, we can come into US paper and see all of these, and there's so many different options. You can also come into photo and you can get things like 4:6 portrait and landscape sizes. So it's really just making it nice and simple for you to create a document the size you want. Web is if you're doing graphic design for web advertisements. It's got the most commonly used sizes for those. Mobile and devices is just the most common mobile sizes, and there's also film and video. So today I'm just going to be doing it in the default Photoshop size, which is just a square, which is 454 by 340 pixels. So I just showed you something which I want to talk just a little bit about. If you come into here, you can show the the properties in different units. So if we want to see it in inches, we can see them in that. We can see all of these different units. So you can show the size in whatever you want. I think the pixels is the best. You will get natural at thinking, oh, I want to create a document this size. How many pixels is that? That's 500 by 700 pixels. But if you think you'd be more confident in centimeters or inches, if you think, oh, I'd rather just say 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters, then by all means go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to come back into pixels. We don't really need to worry about the resolution. Basically, it's just how much data is packed into your document. So if you want it to be really high quality, then you can put this up, but this is good, and if you do put it up, it's going to increase the image size, and you might get a bit confused if you fiddle with things too much, so we'll just keep it at this for now. So we're going to go ahead and press OK, and then once this loads, we will get this blank canvas. So you can see that this is quite a small document. So I'm actually going to click out of this and just make a bigger document, because otherwise we can zoom into this. You can see what happens is I can make it bigger in the corner, and then we get grey, and then I'll talk more about zoom later, but I can come into zoom and make it bigger, but it will still look pixelated if you create text and things, because this isn't the real size of it. If we click on actual pixels, this is the real size of the document. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this, go File, New, and I'm actually just going to go and make it a 720p video size. This is just handy, and you know, it's what this video is in, so it's just a nice size to be starting out in. So again, I'm going to make this bigger, and I will zoom in a little, but not too much, just so that it's nice, but it won't get too pixelated. Hang on, I'll just go back to actual pixels, so that it's the normal size. So now you can see that we've got our document, we've also got layers over here, and we've got all of these different things. So here's the tools menu, which is the main menu that you are going to be wanting to use. So here we've got the move tool, which is just for moving layers. So this is just, you know, as you would expect in something like Word, when you click on something, you can move it around. That's basically all that this tool does. Then there's also the ellipse selection tool, or the rectangle marquee tool. I think it's the marquee tool, but it does select. I believe that it's normally in the rectangle marquee tool, but you can change it around. So if you have it in here, then it will be in there. So what you need to do is click and hold on here, and you can change the different options. Anything that's got an arrow on it, you can change. So this is just the rectangle selection tool. We can come over something and select it. I'm just going to unselect it. I'll talk more about that later. Then we've also got, this will normally be the lasso tool, which you can just drag your mouse around things to select. And then there's different menus within this as well. You've got the polygonal lasso tool, which means you just click and add different points wherever you want, and then you can finish off your shape. And there's also the magnetic lasso tool, which sticks to objects, but since we haven't got any objects in here, I will just go into that later. It's a bit more advanced. Then we've also got the magic wand tool, which selects based on colors, and within this we've also got the quick selection tool. I'll go more into these later, some of these are quite advanced. Then we've of course got crop, we've got the eyedropper tool, so if you have text in here that is a certain shade of blue, and you want to add another color which is the same shade of blue, you can click on this eyedropper, click on the first one, and then it will select that color, and you can change the color of the next one. We've also got these different tools, the spot healing tool. I'll make another video on advanced tools, so I'll go into this in another video. This is just the brushes tool, if you want to just basically use it like a paintbrush. This is more advanced, this is more advanced. This is just the eraser, which complements the brush. Paint bucket, quite simple. This is a bit more advanced, this is more advanced. The pen tool is advanced, I'll go into that more, but I'm just going to quickly explain that it's basically the same, similar to this. You just create different points, except you can also curve points and do all sorts of things with it. So this is really handy when you get into more advanced stuff. This is the text tool for creating text. If we click on this, we can change it. Hang on. My computer's freezing, but when this loads, we can click on it and see that we've got vertical type tools. We've also got these mask type tools, which I'll go more into later. Then we've got the point selection tool, I believe. This will come up. And so this is kind of path selection tool. So this is more advanced, and it kind of works with the pen tool. And then we've got the rectangle tool, and you can get all sorts of shapes here. You can have rounded rectangles, circles, polygons, custom shapes. So you can do all sorts of things with that. And then here we've got two different 3D options for 3D rotations. We've also got the hand tool, and then the zoom tool. So these two kind of complement themselves, each other. So if I come into the zoom tool, if I just click on this, then you can see that it's quite basic. If I want to, here I don't think that scrubby zoom will be selected, so if I press zoom, then it's going to zoom in a fair bit on this. So, and then I can go back to zoom out, and then it will zoom out again and go back to the normal size. And so scrubby zoom is really handy. I will show you this today. If you tick this, it might actually be ticked by default. I can't remember though. So scrubby zoom, that means that when you click and drag to the right, it gets bigger, and when you drag to the left, it gets smaller. This is super handy, and I think that it's by far the best way to zoom. So for instance, what I was showing you about the hand tool is that if we zoom in with the zoom tool, then we come into the hand tool, this just allows us to move our document around. It doesn't move objects, but it does move the document. So I'm not supposed to be doing this, this is just for demonstration reasons. But if I come into zoom, and you can see the shape here, if if I come into the hand tool, it's just dragging the document around. It's not actually moving any shapes at all. So you only really use the hand tool when you're zoomed in. So those are the basics of the tools, and now I'm going to go into layers. Actually, I might save layers for another video, but I'll go into these menus here. So it's really hard to explain the basics just in one video, and it's really hard to figure out when to tell you different stuff, because it's a really advanced program when you're just starting out, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually super simple. So in the file menu, it's basically just like any other application. You could do things like create new documents, open recent, close things, save things. You can also import files, export files, and print things. Automate and scripts are super handy, but these are more advanced. It basically allows you to make certain things automatic with a batch of photos, but I'll be going into that quite a fair bit later. I still don't even use it very much, so it's definitely not required. But if we want to go ahead and save this, then it will come up with this box. So if I want to call it basic document, and then it will be as a .psd. So if I want it in my desktop, if I press this, then it will come up with more advanced things for where to save it. So the format right now is at a Photoshop document. So PSD stands for Photoshop document. And then we can come in here and change the format. There are many formats to choose from. I recommend that you either save it as Photoshop, JPEG, or PNG. Now PNG is used if you want to keep transparency. That's a little more complicated, but if we saved it here, I'll just show you something. If we didn't have this background, you can see that the rest is transparent. So if we just had this square, or say if we drew a painting in this and we wanted to put it onto a ad that we'd already made with a background with different colors and things, then we would keep the background transparent, and then it would just drop over and it wouldn't have any of the background. Otherwise, you would still have the white background in there. So you may not understand that, but don't worry if you don't. So yeah, mainly you'd keep it as Photoshop or JPEG, or whatever file format you usually like to use. So again, if we want to save this, we come in as basic document and then hit save. And then it will ask about maximizing compatibility, which will just make it compatible with different versions of Photoshop. I think that you might as well. There isn't really any reason not to select it, apart from probably making it a tiny bit faster. So I'll hit OK, and now this is saved. I just want to show you one more thing. If we go save as, if we want to save it as a JPEG, then it comes up with another dialog box, and you can see this. So we can change the quality of the file. We can also see the size of the file. So as we change the quality, if we have it on low, it's 30 kilobytes. I believe that there's 1,000 kilobytes in a megabyte, so it's not very much at all. If we have it as the largest file, it's 88 kilobytes, so it's nearly 3 times the size. We can also come into these, just different presets. I usually like to keep it around about here, but it depends on what you're doing. If you're just creating something to muck around, then here is probably fine. If you're creating something for an ad, then you want it on the large file, but maybe if it's a web ad, you might want it all the way down to half so that it loads quickly. So we'll just keep it on here, and these are a little more advanced. You don't really need to go into them, and then we can hit OK, and then that will save as a JPEG. So this is all I'm going to go into in this video. Make sure you click the link that's on screen now to go to my basic Photoshop tutorial part 2, where I'm going to really be drilling into layers and these different adjustments here. And I'm also going to be going further through these menus. So as I said, it's really hard to explain it all quickly and simply, but I'm going to try and do my best, and I'm sure that you guys are going to learn a heap. So thanks very much for watching this tutorial. I've filmed this several times and I put heaps of work into these videos, so any feedback is hugely appreciated. Subscribe if you want more videos like this on Photoshop. I also have other series, like I've been doing some Mountain Lion videos. If you're running a Mac and you want to upgrade to Mountain Lion or know about some of the new features, then check out my channel. And there's also heaps of other stuff to check out on my channel. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.